to memory sticks, which is they're very like the biggest risk with memory sticks is losing the fuckers, of course, because
lose one
or worse than that, actually having them stolen by people in clubs where the decks are very close to the crowd. It hasn't happened to me, but I know quite a few other DJs have literally seen their memory sticks be whipped away in front of them. So they've then gone for SD cards, but of course SD cards you can't see and they're more easy to lose.
So with that in mind, if weight wasn't an option, what piece of kit would you take with you at all times? Or do you always carry with you? So a pair of headphones, is there something you'll always take with you on a DJ set?
Well, it's really just I suppose the most important thing if you're on is actually I like to take a printed list of what all the tunes I've got are, because that's a quicker reference than using CDs or using a kind of a memory stick, which is a very obvious thing to say and it's quite old-fashioned. But actually, it's not. For me, in some of the bigger gigs, like in a festival where really you're not testing tunes, it's a showcase, and you would play more of a planned set, then you know exactly what you're going to play in advance. But the majority of other gigs you do, you're not playing a planned set, you're using the dance floor to kind of road test tunes, and therefore the biggest challenge is remembering all the stuff you've got. So actually having a printed list of everything you've got makes a lot of sense, otherwise you just find yourself doing the same thing over and over again.
And with your production, were you self-taught, or did you just kind of follow? We were just having a chat earlier. You said you pretty much sit over and watch over someone's shoulder. Kind of
yeah, sort of self-taught. I mean, there's always going to be a studio. There are some DJs I know who are way more technically knowledgeable about music making than I am. But at the same time, I could do it myself. But there's always going to be some studio boffin who knows it better than you. Yeah. That doesn't mean that you can't take the knowledge you've got and actually do good things with it. But I think if you're getting into music making, and let's face it, making music is synonymous with being a DJ now. There's no question about it. All the world's biggest DJs make tunes, and the way people judge. I mean, for my club in Ibiza, I'm the first to admit I do tend to book new DJs off the back of their productions as opposed to what I think of them as DJs, and that applies to a lot of promoters. Therefore, making music is absolutely essential, there's no question about it. But I suppose the way to start making music is to do it the kind of safe and easy route first. Make bootlegs, sample other people's stuff. Do that in order to get knowledgeable, know your way around whichever software you choose to use. In my case, it's Logic, but that's not necessarily the right way. Sure. And then once you've gone down that easy, familiar path, then you've got the kind of basics, the building blocks of knowledge. Then you can start being a little bit more creative and making your own stuff.
Do you do live production in your sets, or you just try and stick to just playing the tunes and leaving that for the studio?
No, I mean I work sometimes, particularly in Ibiza, I work with live musicians when I'm DJing. I've got an amazing sort of Spanish percussionist I work with who's got a sort of pad-based percussion setup that works really well. But for me, and it would upset certain DJs to hear it said, because there are some DJs who thrive on the live thing, and Richie Houghton in the techno sphere is a really high profile example of that. But for me, I find it a lot easier to do the creative stuff at home and then perform what you've done at home.
And talking of Ibiza, Judgment Sunday's been going for about over 10 years now. You DJ and promote that. How do you do it? How do you get so much success out of a night?
It's a combination of a lot of things. I mean, for me, it's Ibiza and Radio 1 are the two things that have kept my career very much on the cusp, if you like. And I know for a lot of people, Ibiza is like it's their ultimate DJing ambition to play there. I think in terms of the success of what we do, it's choosing the right like-minded DJs who are not stuck in a particular genre but have still got their own musical identity. But also just, I mean, we employ 50 people, 35 entertainers, creating theatre, which, if you're charging people 40 or 45 euros to get into a night, you can't just give them the same night that they're going to get in the Time and Envy. It's got to be something special.
So, I mean, obviously there's going to be so many people here, and myself included. I want to put on a night. What's the best bit of advice you can give us?
Well, I've kind of said it already, really. You've got to start with your mates and build it up from there. You can't... You've got any promoter out there, even if they're not relying on their mates now, like James Barton and Darren Hughes, when they started Cream some crazy amount of years ago, nearly 20 years ago, were relying on their mates to to start what is now an internationally established club brand. The same goes for everything. Ministry of Sound, the one exception, which was kind of started on a slightly more corporate basis. But just about all the big club promoters relied on their friends. And if you haven't got a pool of friends and you consider yourself just a DJ, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you.
Okay, final questions. These are the important ones. Ibiza or London?
Well, today it's 30 degrees in London and 28 in Ibiza, so today, London.
We'll take London. Trance or house?
Oh, Trouse.
Trouse. I'm not sure I could accept that as an answer. But
that is an official genre, by the way, now.
Alright, Rick Stein or Gordon Ramsay?
Rick Stein's my uncle, so
yeah, I know that, yeah, I knew that. Glasses or contacts?
I've built a career on having a knobby, nerdy look, so I think glasses is the one.
Take glasses. Birmingham or Perth? Where are you playing tonight?
Looking in your eyes, Perth.
Okay, guys, Q&A with Judge Jules. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you very much. We're going to pass the microphone now. If you guys have got any questions in the crowd for the judge, we'll get the microphone passed around, I think.